Ready?
Hi, welcome to the Special K podcast. I'm Jules and this is Kristy Graham Kuma Fit. Yeah. Now, for those that are watching, you may see that we're a little bit cramped. There's a lot going in here. So we actually broadcast from Kristy's studio
gym. Yeah,
studio gym. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you've never seen our videos, we're actually surrounded by gym equipment.
Yeah. As you can see.
And every time I come here to record, I feel like a new piece of equipment has been added. Is that true? Is that true? Or
pretty much the case. Yeah. Yeah. It's getting pretty. It's cozy in here now. It's homely. It's very cozy. So I think we're getting kicked out.
Yeah, we've
grown.
We're going to
leave the nest.
We're moving into Mum's spare bedroom. Literally.
Yeah, it's time for a studio.
Yeah, but because this is expanding.
Yeah,
business is going great.
Yeah.
We should actually talk about your business, Kuma
Fit.
Fit, because this is another side part of you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is actually how I met you, through Kuma Fit.
Yeah.
I mean, through friends of friends, but because I train with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
the coaching side.
yeah. How did this all come about? How long have you been doing that? I have so many questions that I never knew.
You only just thought of.
Okay. Now, Kuma Fit.
Kuma Fit.
Kumabi Fit.
Yeah, so that would be the first one that everyone. Why the name Kuma?
Yeah.
There's actually a number of reasons why. The first one, everyone thinks because obviously hubby's Japanese, the surname is Kumabe, and the first bit of that Kuma.
Yeah.
So that's where everyone relates it to. But that's probably one of the last reasons because to me, Kumabe is not Kuma, it's Kumabe.
Kumabe.
Yeah,
I was saying Kumabi.
Yeah, but it sounds good, so I don't want to stop you.
Oh, Kumabe. Yeah, it's hard to bear.
You know
it's
the amount of different variations of pronunciations I get for that on stage.
Almost 10 episodes in and she tells me I've been pronouncing it incorrect.
But it sounds good, doesn't it? We don't want to change.
And I've been accentuating it as well too. Which
Don't
is,
stop
oh my
now.
God.
You're 10 episodes in.
Kumabe.
See, it doesn't have the same ring.
Okay, so tell us, what is Kuma?
So there's quite a few reasons behind Kuma. Kuma means bear, as in like a bear.
Oh.
In Japanese.
Right.
And I want to be big like a bear.
Yeah.
So
you are big like a bloody bear.
I love bears. I love the nature of bears.
Yeah.
I love just the size and the strength and the almost aggressive side that you see of a bear.
Yeah.
But then when you see a bear with its cub, it's so soft and cuddly, and I feel like that's me.
Yeah.
Like a little bit. So
Yeah.
I've always loved the bear, like going to an analogy of a bear, like with myself.
Yeah,
like that big and aggressive and very protective.
Yes.
But then very affectionate, and especially with your loved ones. And
Yeah.
So the Kuma around the bear is something that I loved. And I actually toyed with the idea of not having the woman, as in me, the silhouette of that. And I played with an idea of a bear, like a mama bear holding a cub.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's, where I was thinking to go with that. And I had that idea play around too, but landed on this one.
Yeah.
This one is just, it's perfect.
It is, It is you. It is you, is it not? Is it you? Is it
they did design it off me, because I took a picture of myself going, I sort of want it like this. And they're like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. So, and then they found that then played with the silhouette. So, and I always have loved black and gold.
Yeah.
Gold.
Yes.
Yeah, always. I just love black and gold.
Same.
Clothing, everything, black and
And you
gold.
know what
I just love it.
It's like, it's luxe. Like it's luxury.
Lux,
you know?
yeah. So black and gold, I've always just loved the combination of black and gold, and obviously gold is a big meaningful thing about where I'm going.
Oh, I'm looking for your medals. I'm like,
there's a lot of gold. I like gold bling. So gold. So that's probably the first one, and then the relation to like family and that. So we've talked about Rue's dad passed years ago from cancer, but and we talked about this a little bit one of the last episodes, that he ran an animation production company.
Yeah.
And his big production company's name was Kuma Studios.
Right.
So,
okay.
And I just have we had a beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
And even though he was Japanese man, very traditional in his business sense, and that he had always loved international people and invited them into their home, and he always dreamed of having a white daughter.
Yeah.
And he got it. So he was like, and blue eyes as well.
Yeah, okay.
And he got it. So
right.
We had sort of had like a special relationship. It was really nice.
Was he more in love with you than Rue? Or was Rue like, I found this white girl with blue eyes.
Dad's going to approve.
Dad's going to approve of this.
But he was very open in his way of like, you do what you do. Like, I could imagine him just cheering from the sky now of watching what Rue and I are doing, like so dynamic, so different, but both so happy in what we're doing and what we're with the kids. Like, I could just imagine him just going, yes, just go for it. Even what I'm doing, so different, so crazy. But he was all about do what you love and be happy with it and just go all in. So, and I think I've said like Rue's so much like him. So I stole the name from Dad.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was another one. And then where Rue's mum lives, it's country down south in Japan.
Yeah.
Do
they call it like village? Do they call it a village, like a village, like when it's remote?
Yeah, sort of would be more like a village. Yeah. And that's where we got married, down in that village. Yeah. So that area is quite like significant in our, history as such.
Of course.
And they have a very famous river that runs through the entire town, and they do like boating on the river and that sort of thing. And we did that a couple of times with the family. And that river is called the Kuma River.
Gosh, right, okay. There's so many of it.
There's so many things at Kuma. So then when I was toying, and I've, since being a PT, like, which is how many years ago? Must be nearly 10 years I've been a PT, as in had my set 3 and 4 in fitness. Yeah. And then been PT. Studied a lot of other things since then, but and I've had different names that I've used, like different business names. Yeah. But this one I knew this one was going to be the one that stuck. Yeah. Yeah. There's just so many elements to it that just
how could you not?
Right. Yeah, just feel right. So, yeah.
So, PTing for 10 years ago?
It would be about 10 years that I've had my... I'll have to look at the date because it would be about 10 years,
What originally made you want to get into fitness? Because this is obviously way before bodybuilding.
Yeah. So when I started PTing, getting PTs in boxercise with the PT down in the park, like when we talked about that started. So that inspired me to get involved in fitness or whatever. And then I decided to just get a cert 3 and 4.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. 3 and 4 in fitness and get that PT certificate. So that was really at the very beginning when we started. I think I just started the strength classes with him, and I was like, I might just go and get my, so I learn more about it.
You know what? If that is so you, because just I'm thinking in the last couple of months that we've been spending a lot of time with one another, whether it be training or podcasting, is that you are someone who, everything that you do, you want to know everything. You want to learn everything. I was going to say, I even just said to you, so obviously with the podcasting and I said to you, I was like, what I know is not to keep within me. I want to teach you exactly what I do, what I know, because it's the same thing, like years of experience, and sometimes it is just experience that has got you to where you are, to share that.
I think that this is going off topic, but this is a cool topic. Like when you share something, you become more knowledgeable. Yes. The person who shares it becomes more knowledgeable. So there's a lot of people out there that they study something and become a professional in something or, knowledgeable in some sort of area. and then they're like, oh, I need to protect that knowledge.
Yeah.
I can't share it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell you how I do this, just do it. Or whatever it may be. That limits your area of growth.
Yes. Yeah. I
100%.
agree. Yeah.
So I find whatever I study, I pass on. Whatever I learn, I pass on, because then they ask questions, then I go back and learn more. Like it's just an upward cycle of gaining knowledge, experience, and then knowledge is power.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So even with you, like passing on that knowledge and abilities to do some editing, which is
I mean, don't get rid of me. Like, I don't want you to get rid of me.
I had the question. I was like, are you trying to get out of this?
No. I'm like, you know, there's certain, like, and it'd be the same with you, you know, in what you do with bodybuilding. You've got to, you know, when you've got a vision, and if you're not hitting it, I'm like you. Like, I take it very personally if I want to do things a certain way and I'm not doing it just because of other elements, and I'm unable to focus on it, like it irritates me.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the more you know, the more I can teach you. The more I can be like, oh, I can't do this little bit right now, but we need to do it.
Yeah.
Can you do
Can
it?
you just quickly cover that?
Yeah, cover that. I promise I'll do it next week. That kind of thing, you know, like.
That's what a team is, and I think that's in business, in coaching athlete, anything, you know, the more, like we're going back to bodybuilding, the more you teach your athlete, the more they're going to level up.
Yeah,
and the more you can level up as well as a coach. And I find that even with, like, I am not prepping anyone for stage or anything, like I love we call them Gen Pop. And that's just like whether it be transformation in building muscle, getting healthy, fixing health habits.
What do they call it?
Gen Pop, general population.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait, is this like K-pop? Like J-pop? Gen Pop, okay.
Gen Pop, yeah, right. General population. Like, I love that at the moment, but I just signed up to do a couple of courses with a company called J3 University, and they specialize in physique stuff, as in like prepping for stage, supplements, and like all of the above. Whereas I'm like, well, that's where I'm going, so I need to know more. Yeah. So exactly what you said. You're like, oh, I found a hole, I want to fill it. Yeah. Because I just feel like the more I know, the more power I have,
knowledge
the
is
more
power.
ability I have to give.
Yes.
Because when you know something's going to work, no brainer, you do it. Right? But if you're questioning or don't have all of the pieces to the puzzle, or something doesn't quite make sense, you're going to question, like, oh, that doesn't quite make sense. Like, what if this, what if that? And you can only assume, make assumptions. Yeah. So I've, especially over these last few years, definitely I'm like, okay, well, how can I learn that? Or how can I level up that? How can I help with that? How can I? Yeah. I'm a bit of a grabber in that.
You are. Yeah. I think it's a brilliant trait. You know, a brilliant trait to have. Yeah. Awesome.
So,
we got off track a little bit. Anyway, so Kuma Fit though has only been a relatively new thing.
Actually, super new. Yeah. So, and you know, there is a big dream behind it, and where that goes. And how long it will take. Like, I've always said, I want to build a business off the back end of my competing. Yeah. My competing is an investment. And I said that from day one. Yeah. And it is an investment, you know. So obviously the higher you go, the more recognition you receive, the more trust that you receive from the general public and other competitors and whatever. And essentially is like, I am my business card. Yes. Right? So I'm definitely walk what you preach type of girl. Like, don't say one thing, do another thing. Definitely words and action have to align. And so I feel like you need to build that reputation and that trust of, she's done it, she knows what she's talking about. So,
well, that's what people want, right? Like, it's the same as like, you know, when you are a client, or, you know, as we are getting PT'd or whatever, you do want to work out, like, trusting that person is knowing what they're doing. And if someone is looking and, you know, and living the way a healthy life should be, or the way you want to be, of course you're going to listen to them.
I think that's part of this podcast too, when we said, like, you were saying, you need to share this. Like, this is sides of you that people haven't seen or heard before, but it actually builds a lot of trust in like,
It
she
does.
is a normal person. Oh, she has been through shit. Oh, she has worked through that or whatever it is. This becomes that more connection that people can build.
I feel like, you know, a lot of people that I've met in my own career, you know, and you know, whether they be athletes or musicians or whatnot, and you see that performance side, right? It's the same as you see your performance side. And the one thing that I loved about interviewing was finding out that normal side, you know, that upbringing, that, you know, that the roots, what made them who they are, like, or, you know, what they were like behind closed doors. Because I do believe there's two sides to every person, right? There's the person that's in front of everyone, and there's one when no one's, you know, when no one's looking.
And that's all the different hats that you wear. Like, and I think you need to be able to take this hat off, put that hat on, but always at the core, you're always yourself. Yeah. But we all have a million different hats that we wear and that we juggle. And that's one thing that I do say to people, like, how do you juggle all your hats? I said, don't. I've just one Rue picks up the pieces and picks up the hats and wears quite a few. But the other one is learning to put one down and then pick the other one up. And I think that's something that you want to show in here. Like, one day the kids will come in and actually show their face. But even I watched an episode the other day and you could see my whole demeanor change, and I'd never seen it before. Yeah. When the kids came in and I spoke to them, it was like, you look like a different human. But I'd never seen that from the outside. So that was really interesting for me to see. And I think sharing that also just builds that relatability.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I really want to, I want to show that and share that as well. So, but,
there's nothing better when like, it's, you know, when you're having a comment like with a friend or even someone you've just met and you resonate together with, like, and it's like, same, like, do you know what I mean? This is what I'm going through, or this is like, you know, or I went through this, or, you know, it's, you know, same with, like, we grew up in small towns. Like, it's when you resonate with someone else, and hopefully you guys do as well too, with Kristy's journey and what she's going through, is that you go, same, and you can also get to this level, you know, of competing where you are at, where you're going to, Olympia. When you really think about it,
it's wild.
It's really not that far away.
No, it's not.
But you got to think. That we're like very close to Christmas, but before you know it's going to be January, and then what? Literally 6 months, 7 months.
So I pushed building right through till probably the end of March. Yeah. They've released the dates just last week of comps for the shows next year. Yeah. And I am looking at the Chicago Pro, Tampa Pro, Texas Pro. Yeah. So it's end of July, and early August. Yeah. But I will, like, you know, so communicating with coach now, just saying like, we'll decide definitely in March whether I'm ready. Yeah. Okay. But he's pretty certain. So I sort of put my foot down a little bit last week. I'm like, what do you reckon? He's like, I can't wait for prep. It's gonna be. So what do you have to hit in March for it to be determined? It's just whether or not you're ready. Putting on the size in the right places, so making sure the body's in the right shape. Okay. Of where we want to be. So we sort of need to think about the whole of next year. We need to think about what I'm going to look like at Olympia rather than the middle of the year. So we can look at the middle of the year, but that's limiting your goal, right? Because we're looking for Olympia. Yes. Like, we want to aim for Olympia. So when we decide in March if the body is ready, we pretty well need to decide then if we think we're ready for Olympia rather than the middle of the year. Do you know what I mean? So because if we go, all right, we want to make sure that we're ready for the middle of the year. The middle of the year is essentially one below Olympia, right? Yeah. And I don't have much time, even when I win one in. I almost got daggers then. I know. But it's so true. I do change my words. Yes. So when I win one in July, August, I don't have much time between those comps to Olympia, like to make huge changes in my physique. Yes. So really, we're prepping for Olympia now. Yeah. And those in-betweens, they're just a qualifier. Yeah. Like, I sort of need to look at it like that. Okay. So when we get to March, coach will go, all right, let's go. Yeah. And then we start shredding off. Yeah. Yeah, because as I say, I just won't have a lot of time between August and October to do much crazy stuff or changing the physique much.
It's one of the reasons why when, and we've been talking maybe 2 months about starting this podcast. Every time we trained, what was supposed to be an hour would blow out to an hour and a half because we would end up just talking about topics that we could talk about.
Yeah.
I just lost my train of thought of where we were. Oh, yeah, and I thought, and because obviously we were basing it on podcasting, and because it was the journey to Olympia, I was like, I'm going to video it because I want people to see, like physically see the changes in you.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. I could only imagine. I'm going to be bloody getting pushed off my seat next year.
No, I'll just get littler and littler.
Oh, no.
But it is incredible, and you will see it. And I promise when, like I do share physique updates.
Yeah.
Like now every 3 weeks, like on my Instagram. And I should flick that over to this one as well.
But, just collaborate.
Yeah,
so then
just
it will
collaborate.
Just go on
so
both.
it just goes on both. I will. But I will.
Sorry, we're just having a little business discussion. Well,
so we're always open to feedback if you'd like to see anything. Press subscribe now.
Like, subscribe,
follow. No, but seriously, if there is something that I want us to touch on, or anything,
I feel like next year what we might do is, I want to get into doing live streaming. So we'll actually do live streaming where you listening can actually
jump on.
And ask questions as we're, sitting. I mean, obviously it's not going to be about me. I'll be reading the questions out so then you can focus on answering. But yeah, we will be kicking that off next year as well too.
That'll be fun.
We've got some big ideas for next year. We
especially with travel and that. But yeah, the prep, I promise I'll show more. Like I will try, like I would get in shorts and whatever. So you can actually see the weekly changes. Like it's actually pretty incredible in person to watch someone go through that, and especially towards the end, it's daily. Like you will see the changes daily.
100%. I think I was seeing you almost every second day.
Yeah. And every time you turn up, just
and I was like, holy shit.
Can't change anymore. I'm like, I'm not there yet.
I'm like, what the far out have you done in the last 24 hours?
It's just incredible. It really is incredible. Yeah. So we'll share that as well. But
and we have these, roaming mics and things like that because we really do want to take the podcasting out of the garage, out of the studio, and into the gym, out into public, or around with us. So it's not just stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
We really just wanted to get a lot of the podcast, just wanted to get it started and rolling, you know, before the year ended. So next year
get me a little bit more.
You're perfect.
Natural.
Brilliant.
Behind our fluffy.
You were absolutely brilliant. We're just talking behind the scenes.
That's right.
Next year as well too, we're going to be getting guests on the podcast, and these will be, run by Kristy. So they will be her interviewing the, special guests coming on as well too, which will be unreal. Because, I mean, as much as I'm interested in your life and what it's all about, I have no understanding or knowledge of what's really in depth, involved with it. So I feel like I'll be asking all the stupid questions.
But I think they're such relatable questions for
everyone
what?
What's that?
Yeah, because I
What's Gen Pop?
That is so true because I just see it as normal.
Yeah.
I'm living this crazy life in the bodybuilder world.
Yeah.
And I just see so much as so normal. Like to me, 7% body fat is nothing. You hit 3s, that's something. And that's like wild.
Yeah.
Like I have some nurse friends that just say, I can't watch this. Like you just make me so nervous. I just can't.
Really? What are they worried that you're going to pass out?
Yeah.
Because it does look dangerous. Like, you know what I mean? Like dangerously.
It can be. It totally can be. And one of the guests that I would love to get on, he's a scientific whiz, and he can talk about some of the stuff that can go right and go wrong if things are not handled. I think we talked a little bit about coaching and how important that coaching is. Yeah. That's something we need to talk about too, coaching. Like they've literally got your life at their hands.
100%.
They're dealing with...
Because I feel like you're just... bodybuilding is literally just pushing yourself so far to the edge,
How
but
close
not
can
slipping
we
over
go?
the edge. Yeah.
You know, and at that stage, you know, right to that edge, that's all, you know, of course you have to give feedback, but you are so close to that edge that you start losing track of sensories and that sort of thing. So it's a very fine line.
Yeah. And
but so to try and like talk about all of that, I really want to share that, and that's quite in depth as well.
I think that's important. Yeah.
But some of the questions that you asked me too, I'm like, I just thought that was normal, but like I'll share it. And then I have been getting heaps of messages, and I love getting messages from followers.
Send me your messages.
Yeah, to say like that particular bit was so funny, or that bit was really interesting, or whatever. And you know, I might just think, oh, like that was just normal, but they've picked up on it and gone, oh, I didn't know that. Like,
It's so weird what people pick up on, really. And then people will say to you, like, for example, a year or two down the track and talk about something that was said in the first episode. And you're like, huh?
Did I
say that?
I don't want to even now, I don't want to watch the first episode and go, oh my God.
I even said, I think I remember
you said that a couple of weeks ago, yeah.
I was like, wait, and give yourself 6 months and then go back, and you will see the change within yourself. Gosh, like I remember having to look back on my listen back to my ever first radio break, on air break, and it was horrendous. I reckon that was probably like my 20th time recording that break, and it still sounded shit. But you know what? You got to have your own confidence. You got to back yourself in no matter what.
That's growth.
Yeah, 100%.
It's growth.
All right, we're going to wrap this one up. We are releasing one more episode, which will be this Thursday, and it's going to be a bit of a questionnaire. I'm going to like quick fire questions to get to know Kristy just a little bit better before Christmas. We'll catch you then. Bye. Love you.
Ready?